People ask me and others time and time again who is the worst character in Smash 4, and to be honest, I don't really think there is a right or correct answer to this question. Now, the thing is that every character in this game just has way too much potential in my eyes to be shoved into the name of the worst. Everybody has something about them that makes them so good, or at least that makes them a decent character. I'd say putting somebody as the worst just doesn't really apply to this type of game. One of the main reasons for this is just because opinions differ so much from one person's experiences to another person's experiences. Now, for example, let's say that in your area you have an extremely good Zelda main, and they beat you a lot, or at least they do very well, have some cool combos, and hit all their attacks very easily, then you would probably say that Zelda isn't the worst character in the game because you see all the great stuff that she can do. But let's say in another example, you have a terrible Zelda main in your area, misses all their attacks, or at least just doesn't really know how to play them exactly right or perfect, and then one that don't do way too well, you'd probably go towards Zelda being a bad character. Now, of course, characters do always have a little bit of an advantage over each other or disadvantage, but I feel like these personal feelings about characters and what people are doing in your area really does kind of force you to either think a character is good or bad. Now, don't get me wrong, I know that someone may have a huge disadvantage compared to the rest of the cast, and just may not have as much of a chance to win, but at the same time that doesn't mean that you're a terrible character or the worst. The big thing is that just opinions change way too fast on this and who's just the worst character in the game. One day it may be Dr. Mario, one day it might be Little Mac, the next day it might be Mewtwo, Zelda, Samus, all these different characters, but the thing is, if it really was the worst character, then there wouldn't be so much varying opinion. The worst character would always be that one character. This is how most other games work when there is one worst character. The problem about this game in particular is that this game isn't all about stats like an MMO or an RTS. In RTS, you might have a minion, or just a thing you use to attack, that has less attack, less speed, less defense, and less stats overall. That makes it the obvious worst minion, or obvious worst, whatever you want to call it. Now, the problem about Smash is that a lot of the times the worst character has something that's still very good about them. A lot of times the worst character isn't just blatantly terrible at everything. They always have something that really does make them at least decent, and that can yield them some really good rewards. Sure, you may have some things about that character that are way worse than others, but those fighters aren't always a direct downgrade of somebody else like they would be from an RTS or from an MMO stat standpoint. Finally, I do have to say, I do realize that there are high-tier characters that are just very good at the game, mid-tier characters that are okay, and low-tier characters that just don't have quite as much tools as the rest of the people in the game, or just as much things that they can really do to make them win the match. But at the same time, I'd say most of the low tiers can actually go mono-e-mono on the other low tiers. They can do pretty fine, and one low tier could be another low tier, and the low tiers can even beat the high tiers, so there's always that. Don't really feel like in low tier land there's really worst one that's obviously the worst that can never win against the other ones. I don't know. In my opinion, it seems like all these guys can do okay versus each other, and that you have at least a close to even shot no matter who you pick. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Now, of course, this is all my opinion, and this is what I think, but I do really want to know what you guys think. Think if you think that there's a worse character, and why you think there is a worse character, or if you do agree with me, whatever you really want to say. I just want to know you guys' opinions down below. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to press like, definitely comment that down below, and press subscribe, and I'll be seeing you all next time.